Hello and welcome back to my channel, and if this is your first time visiting, welcome to you. This time around I'm going to be reading L. Clouston's Newfoundland Christmas Carol, and I'll try and do my best Newfie accent. This is the story of Scrounge and Morley. They had a fish business but never did poorly. When the fishermen got nothing and cupboards was bare, old Scrounge and Morley had food to spare. The Newfoundland people was wretched and poor, but those misers made sure they paid even more. Now down by the water, where the business they had, a wharf full of barrels of fish, good and bad. They was both full of life till Morley got flu. Old Scrounge fed and screeched, no more could he do. A box they got ready for Morley's remains, though Scrounge protested spending their ill-gotten gains. About old Morley, the fisherman said, that's the best time they liked him when he were dead. And now we comes to Christmas time, when in the bay you heard the bells chime. The mummers prepares for Yuletide fun, the Christmas spirits in everyone, except old Scrounge, they say. Oh, he hates the thought of Christmas Day. For him the greatest wish is overworked men and flakes full of fish. Now 'twere powerful cold in the outport stores, when a snow came through, right through the cracks in the doors. Bob scratched the clerk in Scrounge's shop. So cold was he were ready to drop. Too mean were Scrounge to eat the place, so icicles fell from the nose on his face. A young feller bounded in with a loud merry voice, and Scrounge had to listen, sure he had no choice. 'Twere his nephew who came to bring good wishes and offer Scrounge Christmas dinner delicious. Uncle Scrounge snarled, and he made it quite clear he cared nothing for family nor Christmas cheer. But nephew Fred were kindness himself, and he wished Bob Scratchit the best of health. Now Scrounge had heard all the greetings so kind, and was positive sure they were out of their minds. Next came the men on charity bent, but afore they got in they discovered they'd went, for Scrounge blocked their way to his office door, and he told them to leave and come no more. They told him about the poor in the cove, but in mean old Scrounge they found no love. Now 'tis hard to imagine what Scrounge was about on Christmas Eve and the carolers about. He snarled and he bawled at poor Bob Scratchit. When it came to meanness, no one could match it. As for the men in the fish packing store, he came there ferocious and had him, he swore, fill all them barrels or not I will pay, and then you'll have nothing for Christmas Day. Soon after that was time to close. Scrounge banged the door and blew his nose. He stumbled along in the fog and the dark. A snowball thrown at him found his mark, for it caught old Scrounge square in the gob, and he fell in the snow and started to sob. Scrounge made his way home, feeling glum and sorely, where he lived many years with his partner Morley. In a ugly mood he went straight to bed, and had a few snorts, and thought he was dead. He twisted and turned all the night long, feeling no pain, sure he broke into a song. This has to be a nightmare, he said, for many he saw were since long dead. The first encounter was Lizzie Jones. Scrounge recognized her even though she were bones. Mr. Scrounge, tonight you don't look so cheery as the day you cut credit from me and Mary. Scrounge shivered and shook as he sat in a nook. Many ghosts gathered and read from a book. He's become more frightened, he got weaker and weaker. His name was mentioned many times on the speaker. Now, says Mary, don't you cut a fine figure? had you sit there so hungry with nary a jigger. Out on the street, where Scrounge had lived many years, there were children he'd shook and sent home in tears. There were also the boys and the girls from the docks, who walked in the snow with no shoes and no socks. The ghosts of these children did now appear, and Scrounge got worse and filled in with fear. Mr. Scrounge, your sin is not what you got, but the caring and sharing with which you did not. The next apparition was one of his kin. It reminded him clearly of another great sin. He had treated his uncle something fierce with greed. When it came to Scrounge for mercy to plead, "Pay up," he said to his uncle so old. "If not by tomorrow, your house will be sold." When we saw you coming, we felt a chill, but we warn you now, you'd better stay still. 'Tis too late, Mr. Scrounge, for you to repent, 'cause when you die, you go where you're sent. There are those like you, so mean and so cold, yet when they die, someone else gets their gold. With this memory in Hutters, he was out of his mind. The spirit approached him, forgiving and kind. "Nephew Scrounge, you're a mean, clever scoundrel, of course, but tonight we've looked closely and seen your remorse. You've been granted grace. We'll have one more chance. If you assure us, promise the world to enhance. But if you don't, then this here is your fate. You'd better change now, afore it's too late." Now Scrounge had ploughed to bed all night, and when he came to, he was filled with delight. He soon realized he was back in his own sack, face and eyes on the broad of his back. "Holy smoke," he yelled, "I'm not dead at all, but merciful Lord, 'twas a close call. I'm alive, I'm now a new man. I've changed, and for all I'll do what I can. I'll hail everyone with a Christmas wish. Christmas Day they'll have turkey and not all salt fish." He looked out the window, and what did he spy? 'Twas his faithful old clerk. Scrounge started to cry. Bob saw his employer and came to the door. He looked calm enough, but felt frightened to the core. He was welcomed in, and Scrounge took his hand, and to Bob's surprise, he looked wonderful grand. Scrounge sat down and made him toast bread and made some tea. "Heat up, me boy, and here look see. 'Tis partners now, Bob, you and me." Well, his clerk of long standing fell into a trance, but Scrounge did so good, he did a jig dance. They danced all over the kitchen floor, till Scrounge got weak and could go no more. "'Tis Christmas Eve, but no work today. Get home, Bob, you'll still get your pay." Scrounge riding nigh on a generous cloud. "What will I do now?" he said out aloud. "To me trunk I'll go and get coins of gold. By jeepers, it'll be fun scraping half the mould. Those men of charity, that's who I'll see. I'll go to their house and see where they be." He found them and then put gold in their pockets till their eyes rolled round and come out of their sockets. Then to Lizzie and Mary Jones he ran. In his long arms he held a great big pan. There was apples and oranges and all kinds of jam, chicken and turkey and a whopping big ham. The Mrs. Jones kin were most out of their wits. They looked at each other and nearly threw fits. As for Scrounge, he sat and laughed till he cried, and he told them quite frankly, he thought he'd died. Scrounge got a party, begobs, 'twas fun. The place was filled with everyone. There was John Crosby and his brother Bing, Turner and Broadbent trying to sing. Mulrooney sang and Reagan too, all Irish songs till they both turned blue. There was so much food the table bent, and they stuffed themselves to their heart's content. Scrounge stood at the door and he wished them good night, with tears in his eye till they drove out of sight. As we've all seen, Scrooge made amends to all the people and made them his friends. They showed him love and affection too, and now Scrooge says, Merry Christmas to you. Thank you for watching. If you like this story, please hit subscribe. And what's the other thing, Karen?
Notification bell.
Notification bell. Click on the notification bell if you'd like to see more stories as they become available. Bye for now. Merry Christmas.